Hello and welcome to Brazen. I'm so excited that you're here. You are in for a real treat. We have a woman here today who just wrote and published her first book, which is incredible. She has been on a journey of self-discovery, self-mastery, self-love, going after big dreams, going after more. And she just was talking to me about how she has stepped into this brand new energy of more ambition and going after things and so much initiative that is pushing her all the time, which I love, and it's created the coolest week for her thus far. And we're recording this on a Friday, which is, I just love that we're wrapping it all up. Um, and we met last November 2023 in the Women Rising event. We actually started talking before it started, of course. We were chatting before the event started, 4 days, Women Rising. You had seen that it was in the early bird pricing, and you're like, I remember your message. You're like, okay, you're blunt and I like it. And I don't usually like that from people. So what's going on with this Women Rising thing? And we started talking, and it was such natural conversation. I loved how we met and we were able to just go back and forth. And there's sometimes there's a little weirdness online because you're sending voice clips and you're talking, but with us, it wasn't. And when you showed up in Women Rising, Lisa, it was so awesome that you were there to begin with, and you were there live with us. I love when women are able to come live. And you opened up in so many huge ways. You shared such awesome, incredible, moving things with the group. You had a moving experience. It was amazing. And then afterwards, we kept talking, and you're like, hey, Heather, I have a proposition for you. And I was like, oh, okay, tell me about this. And you were telling me about with your book and this entire chapter of your life that you were also on, how you really wanted to come and be a guest teacher in the 5-week retreats that I host. So we talked about that, and I'm like, girl, I love this. Let's start, because I kind of have like a trail I bring people through before the retreats. I'm like, let's start you on the podcast. Let's move that forward. And right before we pressed record, Lisa, I was telling you how much I love the fact that you did that. And you were like, hey, Heather, I want to do this. I'm really proud of myself. I'm going to go for it. And you're like, Heather, that's new. So I am just so excited for you to share your journey, Lisa. It's so beautiful. You're such an incredible woman. I know you're going to touch so many people's hearts, and you're going to help take them to the next level. Your words are going to be medicine, babe. So, Lisa Smith, thank you for being here. It's truly an honor. And would you like to introduce yourself, my dear?
Well, I am Lisa Smith, and you have said so much, I don't even know where to begin. I want to tell you from the very first time that the first post of yours that I saw, you were like, take a deep breath, just fucking do it. And I was like, I love her. I love her. I don't know why, but I love her.
Well, I'm glad.
So I started following your posts, and when you posted about the workshop, I was like, I am absolutely doing this. I need her in my life. I just need her. And it was just the best experience. I don't even have words for it right this minute. And I write and I don't have words.
Well, you're kind of on the spot right now, so it makes sense. Is
But
this
it
your
was
first podcast, by the way?
it is. It
Oh,
absolutely is.
that's
This is
even more
very
exciting.
exciting. This is a year full of firsts.
Oh,
Uh,
I love it.
but
And I'm
the
sorry.
workshop The workshop was so moving. I got
Oh,
so much out of it, and the women that we connected with, it was just amazing.
yeah.
It's hard to put into words. You have to experience it for yourself. Everybody just got so close in such a short period of time. It was really moving.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
speakers were amazing.
it
Katie,
was.
Sam, and oh my gosh, just out of body.
Yeah. And I think that you nailed it too when you said that, like, you have to be there. And I sometimes go to programs, workshops, courses, there's so many words for them. All these things, I go live. Sometimes I watch the replays, sometimes both. And there's truly nothing like being there live, because that's when you are able to create those relationships. And like, our interactions within that event really catapulted us to this moment, honestly. And
Right.
you could have gotten, as many do, just as much like, holy crap, moments of clarity, change your whole life moments and experiences if you would have watched the replays and your access hub and like went back to them. But being there live, like, you created what could be lifelong friendships, sisterhoods that are immediately knit within 4 days. Like we all became so close. And it really is something that you have to experience. Like it really is a 4-day experience, mind, body, and soul.
It is. It absolutely is. Even on Zoom, it absolutely is. You have to experience it for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
if
love
you
and I'm so
haven't,
glad you did.
yeah, if you haven't experienced one of Heather's workshops, you have to do them. You just
Oh.
have to.
Well,
I will
speaking
be doing more.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of, I hope you're in the retreat in March. We've already established that we're putting it out in the universe together, like,
Oh
let's
yeah,
come to
I
the
will be.
retreat.
I will be. I'll be there.
And by the time that this airs, let's see, this episode will probably be going live about halfway through the retreat. So you'll be able to come back to this and watch it while the retreat is going and you're in it. Be like, I said it, I knew I would be.
I predicted it.
I love that. So, Lisa, you are such an incredible woman. I have known you now, like we were talking about, since the beginning of November. We've been chatting and watching your journey. And, we haven't been working in one of my more immersive programs. Women Rising event is a 4-day event and it is immersive, but not like the retreats, not like one-on-one, not like in the sisterhood even. And even though we have not been in those immersive, we'll say containers, you and I have really got to know each other quite a bit. And you shared with me something so amazing. You sent me a picture of it. We've been sending voice clips back and forth. You
Yep.
wrote a book. It's
Yep.
called Positive Perspectives, Change Your Outlook, Change Your Life. And you were sharing with me, like, as it was going through the publishing stages and as it was getting ready to go live, and it's been really an honor, and I just wanted to truly tell you that again, like, this has been so cool to watch your journey. Like, I'm just in the beginnings, like, I'm the last couple of months, I'm just in the beginning stages of getting to know you, but it's been really amazing to hear and watch and see that you have gone through all these different stages and chapters of your journey, and now it's in this incredible one where you have published a book and you have put yourself out there and you're taking all this big initiative and the big bravery and courage. And I want to tell you that's so fucking cool. Number one.
Thank
And
you.
number two, will you tell us about that? What was that journey like?
You know, it was a long journey.
Yeah.
It went fast at the end, but the journey to get there was long. I have always written. I have a degree in creative writing in English,
Mm,
and I've always written fiction. Always been a fiction writer. And I just decided one night, sporadically, that I was going to write something nonfiction. And I thought and I thought and I thought, what could I write? And I started going through, what am I good at? What are my positive qualities? What could I possibly write about? What could somebody learn from me? And I've always been a particularly positive person.
yeah.
Um, Actually, when I was a baby, my mom thought I wasn't acting right. So she took me to the doctor, and the doctor checked me out. And he looked at my mom and he said, "Lady, the only thing wrong with this baby is she is entirely too happy."
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that.
So I just had, no matter what's happened in my life, I have remained uh, positive. I have a positive outlook. I'm able to see things from all different perspectives.
Yeah.
And so that's where I got my start.
Oh,
It's gotten me through a lot. So I figured, you know, it could get other people through a lot. So I did some research. And so some of my book is based on research, some of it's based on personal experience.
yeah.
And I grew up with a mother who was non-conventional. She was new age. She was an astrologer.
Love
I
it.
went to dream study groups as a kid. Um, all kinds of things that most kids aren't exposed to, I was exposed to. So I learned all kinds of things. So I had a lot of experience in a lot of different things. And she always told me I had a very unique perspective and a very interesting story to tell. And she always encouraged my writing.
Mm.
So just a lot of this stuff is personal experience and personal lessons and with a little bit of research thrown in.
That's incredible. Will you tell us some of it that's in there? Just some of the things that come to mind right now that you feel like if you shared it, it would be what somebody needed to hear right now?
Well, there's a lot in there about reframing, taking
Mm,
your situation and reframing it.
yeah,
I'm really big on that. Not seeing your situation, um, taking it and looking at it from another perspective,
yeah,
uh, taking your challenges and seeing them as opportunities. There's a lot of practical exercises in
yeah,
there. Uh, Journaling, gratitude journaling, keeping a gratitude jar. Just all there's a lot of exercises, and I've actually written a second book that's more of an exercise book to go with it, a workbook. It's
oh,
just not
wow.
published yet, but it will be very soon. But
Yeah.
it's to complement the book. My friend who read the book before I published it, when she read it, she's like, "You should do a workbook to go with it." And I was like, "I don't even know where to start on that." But once I started, it all came together, and that will be published next.
That's incredible. I'm so happy for you. From one woman to another, I'm so proud of you two, lady. That's so
Thank you.
awesome. You're
Thank you.
welcome.
I always thought I'd publish a novel first.
Yeah.
Go figure. I never saw myself as a nonfiction writer, but I actually have a few more books in the works.
Very cool. So, from the Positive Perspectives book, what are some of your favorite little tidbits from there?
Some favorite tidbits from there.
Yeah. Like the moments of clarity while you were like writing it, I'm sure, where you're like, this has to go in the book, like some big ones that you have in there.
Well, to start with, you have to pay attention to how you're feeling right now. You have to
Ooh,
start with
yeah.
right now. You have to pay attention. And a big one, I even tell a story about my Heather and
Yeah.
her friends when they were in high school. They would say things that they thought were innocent that
Yeah.
really just bugged the heck out of me. But they would say things like, "Oh, I want to die. Oh, just shoot me now." And I'm like, don't say those things. Those are negative things, and they do so much damage. You know, people say these things innocently, but they're not innocent. And I just can't stand it when I hear people say, "Oh, just shoot me now," or like, don't say that.
Now you're
You're
calling
doing
it in.
so much damage.
Yeah, I mean, you're calling in heaviness. You're calling in it. I mean, and I used to do that same stuff too. I would say things that I thought were just innocent. And you hear them from friend groups or from people around you. And um, what was one? I just remember saying like, "Oh, fuck me," like just stuff like that. Like just really like kind of a smack in the face to yourself. And your words are spells. Your words cast, and what you say you are going to call in. And like, you know god forbid anything to that nature, to that extreme. But there's been times where I remember like saying some stuff over and over again and like not really thinking anything about it, and looking back now, that was a week or a month where I was stubbing my toe a lot, or I was having like a lot of misfortune happen in my life, a lot of unfortunate events happening in my life. And I personally believe that there is more correlation there than we give credit sometimes. Our words really
Absolutely.
create our reality.
Absolutely. And I'm a big believer in positive affirmation. I have
Yeah.
actually written some positive affirmation, downloadable positive affirmation cards.
Very
Uh,
cool.
they're on my stand store. And I have them specific, not, I have some for everyone, but then I've written them very specific for different stressors, positive and negative stressors, because positive things can be stressors too. Things like getting married or having a baby or graduating can be a stressor. But I
Yeah.
have them, so I have them for all of those things, but I also have them for breakups, for depression, for gender identity, sexual identity, eating disorders, all sorts of things. They're not all on Stan Store yet because they take some time to, they're all written out. The design phase takes a little more time, but
Yeah,
uh, but I think there's about 10 of them on Stan Store right now, and
that's
I'm
incredible.
uploading, as I can, about 2 or 3 a week.
That's so amazing. I love that you're putting all this out there. When did this journey of writing this book start?
I wrote it really pretty quickly because I'm kind of obsessive. When I
Love,
start something, I
love
like
it.
dive into it, and like that's all I do. I'll stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning. My husband works at UPS. He'll be leaving to go to work, and he's like, why are you not sleeping? I'm doing this. I'm busy.
Oh, I love it.
So, I think I started it in September,
Oh, wow. That's
and
amazing.
it came together really fast. I really, when I do something, I do it.
Yeah. Yeah. We are one and the same, my dear. That's when I started creating and publishing my self-worth journals and planners and everything. That's exactly how I was. It's it's a creative process that's also so rewarding in so many different ways. Like writing and creating and publishing your own work, like it feels unlike anything else. And you pour your heart into it in a way that it does, the time flies by because you're enjoying it so much, and it's so incredible to watch what was once just like this glimmer in your heart or an idea that landed, just out of nowhere, quote unquote, in your head. You see it come to life, and it's
Yeah.
miraculous.
And you feel like you have to catch it or it's going to go away. You have to get it out
Yeah.
before it's gone.
Yeah. And I give you so much credit for that. There's two different books that I've been writing now slowly. Like I'm talking snail pace. And I've been doing it for probably 3-ish, 2-ish years now. And you talking about writing this book and really just pouring your heart into it like that, and even in this moment just remembering what it felt like to create and publish those planners and journals in the beginning, I think that you just put new spirit and soul within me that's reignited for me to start getting back to business on those books. Because there's so much similarities in our stories. Like I have had my fiance telling me for years, and people before that were like, Heather, only the most people used to say only the most weird shit happens to you, or only the most like holy crap stuff. And I used to say that words are
That's
spelled.
me.
So I years ago I was like, I'm only gonna say that the most amazing things happen to me, because clearly all these years of saying all the weird things or all this stuff that nothing doesn't happen to anybody else happens to Heather. If I have the power to make it that way, I may as well make it the way I want. And between that and Travis, my fiance, telling me like, there's so much in your head, there's so much in your heart. You've lived such a life, you've overcome so much. Like you now carry these giant luggage cases full of wisdom. You just reignited something in me, like seeing that within you as you're walking around with your giant luggages of wisdom and your passion and your reignition into this. So thank you. That really did spark something for me. I'm excited.
Good. I'm glad. You sound like my twin.
We're twins from another galaxy.
Yeah, I have been through so much. I've just had so much experience, and I've had so many people tell me, my mother being one of them, that I had so much more strength than I realized, that I was so much more powerful than I ever realized. And it's taking me this long to realize that I am powerful. I
Yeah.
do have that strength. And it's just now occurring to me. And I look back at some of the things that I've been through and I'm like, yeah, you are powerful. You are something.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, I am.
I love that. How did the last, especially like 5 years, because the last 5 years has really shifted a lot for a lot of people in this world, many people in this world. So what has the last 5 years shifted for you?
Well, I became an empty nester.
Mm.
So I raised 5 kids
Well,
and
thank you for doing that work, babe, because that's 5 kids? My goodness.
Yeah, they range in age from 35 to 21. So became an empty nester.
Love that.
And I ended up on partial disability because of some spine and neck issues that I have.
Mm,
And so I had to have neck surgery, spine and neck surgery. So that put some limitations on me.
yeah.
I became a grandmother 4 times.
Ooh, congratulations, Grandma. What do they
Four
call
time,
you?
Alma.
Alma? Oh, congratulations, Alma.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have 4 grandchildren. I have one of the oldest is 4, and the next one's 2, and then 2 of them are 9 months old, but they are not twins. My daughters had babies 3 days apart.
Oh my gosh, that's the sweetest thing in the world. I love that.
Yeah, so we had 4 babies in 3 years.
Very cool. Almost like, yeah, I'm tired now.
Yeah, they exhaust me, but they're amazing,
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh,
So yeah, so there's been a lot of change, and I started pursuing, I guess, so much of my adult life had always been geared towards my children. They were my priority. I started pursuing my own interests and finding all these things that I could do, and I didn't have to think about anybody else. And I got married young. I had my first child right before I turned 21.
oh wow.
So I never really explored my interests fully. So
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing. And it's a lot of fun.
That
Uh,
just made my
and
heart explode for you.
so I am like so busy. I have my fingers in so many different little things because I'm just having fun exploring.
Oh, Lisa, tell me about some of the stuff you're doing. What are your fingers in?
I do affiliate marketing
Nice.
and I have an eBay store. I have
Oh.
I just started a Etsy shop where I do print on demand.
Mm.
It's only had one sale. So
No, we have had one sale and we are celebrating. We are
yes, we're
celebrating.
celebrating that one sale. We're very happy. But I like it has t-shirts and like mugs and travel mugs, and they
Yeah.
all have cute little sayings that I've come up with on
Oh,
there. I think they're really cute.
yeah.
Um, my problem is I'm not getting traffic to my store.
Well, tell them right now. How do they find it? Tell all the
It's
listeners.
it just changed names. It's called by Trendy Treasures.
Oh, that's perfect. And anybody that's listening, make sure you check the show notes. Everything will be listed below. I'll grab it from Lisa so that way you guys can go check it out.
Yes, it's called By Trendy Treasures. And it's got like coffee sayings, or like I have a t-shirt that says, I don't need an inspirational quote. I need another cup of coffee.
That's cute. I like that.
So just fun sayings like that. And then I've got like
Yeah,
grandparent mugs and teacher mugs, lots of teacher things. Um, just whatever. I've got plant sayings.
love that.
I'm not a regular mom. I'm a plant mom.
I am a plant mom, as we
Yes,
hear.
I thought you'd like
All
that
of my
one.
babies. That's
Some
so
fun things
great.
like that. Yeah.
Have you dabbled in some new hobbies as well? I mean, obviously writing, you've come back to and really dove back
Yeah,
into.
I really focused on
Right?
the writing. During COVID, I started doing Michael's online courses. I started doing some painting. So I
Oh,
do a little bit of painting.
I love that.
And since the grandbabies came along, they really take a lot of time. I do babysit for my daughters while they work, so I
Yeah.
get a lot.
Yeah. So your hobbies have been being an Oma.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I love that though. I love that you've been painting. That's actually, well, you and I were talking about listening to music and jamming out and moving our bodies before we pressed record. And on Fridays, my fiance and I have had this rule for, my goodness, I think it's been since we've started dating, to be very honest. Friday nights are our nights. So we separate and we used to go like he would maybe go find and hang out with his friends, or I'd go hang out with the girls. But now it's in our home. He goes down to the basement. He has like his whole like man cave set up down there with like his gamer stuff and everything. And I just do Heather stuff, which could be plants, which could be witchy stuff, which could be I write or I draw or I paint. It's everything. And tonight I was talking to my fiance about this recently. I'm like, I really need to get back into my painting. Like I can feel that pull, like that need for that creativity. Like I just want to put my fingers in paint and slap them on a canvas. And so that's actually my plan, my intention for this weekend is to just let myself listen to some of my favorite songs and paint and draw and just see what comes out of me. So maybe we can do that together this weekend. We
Yeah,
can be in the vibe together.
I love crafty things. I do jewelry too. This is my chakra balancing
Oh,
bracelet.
that's so beautiful, Lisa. I love that. I love the red on it.
Yeah, it's all the chakra stones so I
Yeah,
can stay balanced.
very cool. Love it. So, when you were writing this book, what were the like I know you were up and you were doing it and you were like in the middle of it all the time, which I do that exact same thing. So I know that there's times where you get those moments of inspiration, like those extra Kickstarter moments. Like sometimes for me, it usually like I get in those zones like you were talking about writing your book when I'm making programs and retreats. Like the Women Rising that you were in, when
Mhm,
I created that, it's because I was in that zone in that flow state and I'll listen to like music that I love. And sometimes it's just like a sentence from a song, or like I'm listening to a podcast and it's one of the things they say, and it just creates this whole visual within me, and I have to create. And that's
mhm.
really how a lot of it's made. So, were there some of those times when you were doing the book and creating that?
Um, there's a part in there where I talk about one of my friends, and she was the inspiration for a a section on the ripple effect.
Oh, tell
Um,
me about it.
she well, you know, when you are positive, it has a ripple effect.
Hmm.
And I have a very, very good friend. We've been friends for over 30 years. And this is probably a direct quote from the book because it's honestly how I feel. I think she was put on this earth to spread positivity. She is the most positive person that I know.
I love
When
that.
she walks into a room, everything elevates.
Mm.
And she was my total inspiration for writing about the ripple effect. And she just is an amazing light in the world. And,
Aw,
you know, she has been through some stuff too. She lost her husband to cancer, I think it was 4 years ago, just a couple days ago.
oh my gosh.
And I tell her she is a jelly donut in knight's armor because she is a softie, but she is strong.
Hmm.
But she's just the most positive person I've ever been around in my life.
Mm.
So she was my total inspiration when I got to writing about the ripple effect.
Yeah. So
Um,
what does it talk about for the ripple effect? What's your perspective on that?
my perspective is, you know, if you compliment somebody,
Yeah.
they're much more likely to go out and be nice to somebody else or to compliment somebody else. And it has a ripple effect. If you're positive, you're going to pass that positivity on, and people around you are going to be more positive. When my stepfather died a few years ago, and my daughter Heather and I were we went to a Dunkin' Donuts to get coffee. We were in the drive-through, and I was trying to order, and they were out of what I wanted. And so I was trying to come up with something else, and the car behind me was honking. And he died the day before Thanksgiving. Um, so I got up to the window and I paid for our order, and I stopped and I said, you know what? I'm going to pay for the car behind me. So I paid for them, and my daughter was still in high school at the time. Paid for them. No, she must have been in her first year of college. And we drove away, and she looked at me and she's like, why did you do that? They were honking at you. And I said, obviously they're having a bad day, and maybe this will remind them to be nice. And she
Yeah.
just looked at me and was like, well, maybe they'll be nice now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just it never hurts to be positive.
Yeah. Well,
And negative gets more negative. I
yeah.
mean, I could have been ugly. I could do what a lot of people do. I could have stuck my finger out at them, but
Right.
what good does that do?
Right.
Instead, I bought their coffee.
Right. Well, and I love that you in a situation like that especially, it always makes me think of like road rage scenarios.
Mhm.
You know, I've I've never really that's never really been a hurdle for me, road rage. Like I get impatient sometimes where I'm like, oh
Right.
my gosh, like in heavy construction or especially when people don't like let others merge in, that drives me banana sandwich. Like if we're like in a merging situation and then there's always that one person who doesn't let people in, I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? But road rage has never really been a hurdle for me. And when people that I know and that I love do have that as a hurdle for road rage, it's always an interesting conversation with them. And it's a lot like what you were saying, because you're in your car and you're there. It's like if that person, if you would have taken that personal, they are literally in their vehicle, probably having their own conversation out loud for sure in their head, right? Like they are in
Mhm.
their own little bubble. And until they made a noise for in your case or with people with road rage maybe honking or like they speed up sometimes or do all this stuff when people are doing things like that, like those that are just happy and enjoying themselves, they don't even notice the anger and all of that ick. And so it's a situation where you can like if somebody in a road rage situation or in yours, like if somebody were to take that personal instead of being like, dude, like go ahead then. If you are needing it that bad, like for road rage, if somebody's like honking and freaking out, I'm always like, if you're in that big of a hurry, first of all, be safe because there's other humans on this road. So like be a good
Right.
human. But also get there then. Go around me. Like you're fighting yourself, buddy. I am in no way, shape, or form. I'll get over for you however you need me to. And you kind of did the same thing there, but took it like to a whole new level of being like, you know what? Checkmate, bitch. Like, I you're not going to get me to come down to that level. Like I sit here, my baseline is here and I will not come down to a level just because that's where you are today. I'm going to instead bring you up to mine. And my grandma, which when slash if she listens or watches this, I know she's watching them on YouTube now because she loves watching them. So hi grandma, nice. She always used to and still does tell me, kill people with kindness. And that's been her motto, one of many for most of her life. Like she's a freaking spitfire. She don't mess with grandma. Don't mess with grams. Like not a good idea. She looks like Marilyn Monroe, like a little short Marilyn Monroe version of a grandma and just the most beautiful grandmother you could ever imagine. And she's so sweet. She would give anybody anything, but also like she might pop you in the mouth if you cross her wrong. Like you should just watch out for her type of woman. And I love her. And grandma, I know you wouldn't actually hit anybody just in case you are watching, just jokes, but she would always say, kill people with kindness. If someone is basically showing their ass and they're, bringing an energy into the situation or they're bringing an attitude or anything that's unnecessary, be the stronger person and completely, uh, I mean, deny it pretty much. Like,
Right.
deny
You diffuse
that.
them. You
Yeah, just
completely diffuse them.
yeah.
But my mom always told me, and my kids tell me now that I'm too nice. You're too
Mhm,
nice. My mom said, you see the world through rose-colored glasses. And that
mhm.
may be true, but it's a lot prettier that way. I don't want to see the ugly. I don't want to
Yeah,
see the negative. Not that I'm blind to it, because
yeah,
I'm not. I know it's there,
yeah.
but I'm gonna keep my positive outlook, and I'm going to see the positive in situations. I know the negative exists. I've dealt with the negative.
Right.
Um, I'm not naive to it, but you just can't live in it. You can't dwell in it. You've got
Mhm.
to move past it. You've got to take the the lesson from it, you've gotta take the experience from it, and you've gotta move past it.
Yeah. Yeah. And, having that perspective your whole life, for me, especially in the work that I do, to me, that just means that that's one of many sole purposes that you have. One of your sole purposes, a foundational piece of Lisa is you're the light in the storm no matter what. Like there could be a storm all around and you'll be like, yeah, I fucking see the storm and I'm still the light. Like that's just, it sounds very foundational for who you are. And I think that's incredible.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It's what keeps me peaceful with myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And we haven't got to know each other too much. I'm sure we'll get to know each other a lot more, especially in the retreat. This is the way that you described your friend, which by the way, she sounds awesome. She sounds like an angel. I love her.
She is.
But that's just how I see all women, really. Like I see all of us as these Wonder Women. Like when I think of, and I share this a lot in my work, when I think of the identity of myself, like who am I? What's the energy I bring into a room? Like what am I thinking of? What are my intentions? And like when I bring that into a character, because that's one of my favorite ways to really connect, it's been Wonder Woman, like specifically Gal Gadot, her version. It's that. It's a woman who will sit there with compassion and understanding. She'll be a compassionate listener. She will hold space, she will create, but she will also whoop your ass with a cute smile on her face if you step wrong, right? Like, and that's what I aspire to always be, of course, but that's also what I aspire to build my community and my tribes with. Women like yourself, women like your friend, women like your mom. Like these women who have stepped fully into their power, recognizing that we can be all of it because we are all of it. Like you were saying, you spent so many years as a mama and really dedicated to that. You stepped into the energy of being a mom. And I think that's a beautiful place to be. I I don't want to say unfortunately, but it was a season of my life for only about 10 years where I was able to step into that mama energy full blown. And I cherished every single moment of it because there's nothing else like it. And, mine was from like a stepmom point of view, which they were never stepkids or stepmom situation, but
Right.
it was from that angle. So I can only imagine, of course, how much deeper that goes when it is your child that you gave birth to. And now you're stepping into this whole new space of this energy of Lisa and what makes her happy and what lights her up. And I just think that your journey and your story right now is the perfect example of a woman saying, these are all of the things I can be, and these are all the things that I am. And when a woman does that and she declares it to herself, and in front of a mirror is always a great idea, but especially to others, like when you declare who you are, what your identity is, who you are going to be, what your intentions are, most women do it. You know what I mean? Like most of
Yeah.
us do. Like
Yeah.
I don't really know of any women quite truly in my life, in my circle at least, I should say. I don't run with women who say they're going to do something and then don't. And because I don't really think that exists too much, honestly. When a woman truly sets her mind, heart, and soul to something, she does it. And then it's in that moment she realizes all these different versions of who she's been and who she is, they all come up to bat because she needs all of those versions in order to accomplish those goals. And I really feel like you're such a shining example of that, Lisa.
Thank you so much. I
You're
have
welcome.
big plans, and I would like nothing more than to guide other women into being themselves and accomplishing and knowing. I want them to find out before they're 55 how powerful they are and how
Yeah,
amazing they are and how they can be authentically themselves. I mean, there's nothing better.
that is,
It's nothing better than feeling the way that I feel right now.
I love that. And I hope so many women reach out to you. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, there is a hole in the coaching industry, in the mentorship industry, in the teacher and healers industry online. There is a hole that needs filled, and it is with women in your age group helping women in your age group. That does not exist as much as it needs to. And this is something I'm so glad we're talking about this. This is something my friends and I, and also my intern and I have spoke about a couple of times. Like that needs to be filled. And there are some incredible ones. Like I'm not saying that doesn't exist, but there needs to be more because the way that you will teach, Lisa, the way the wisdom you have, the perspectives you have, the words that you'll say, only you can teach that. Only you can give that to someone else. And I think it's such a cool world that we are transitioning into where people are again like we used to, remembering that you just take your own strengths and you can really bolster those and then teach them, and that's how you can live, and it can be fulfilling and sustainable, and it can honestly make you wildly wealthy, which right now is such a great time to be alive. You can fully be yourself online and become wildly wealthy and then help other people do whatever they want to do in life and become happy and wildly wealthy. Like that's so fucking cool.
I think it's so selfish to have knowledge of anything and not to share that with people, not to mentor people, not to help in some way.
I
Like
know.
like why would you not? Why would you not want to make other people better?
Yeah.
I just
Well, for me it was fear. For me I was like, who wants to hear me talk?
no, 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 I understand that. But what
Yeah.
once you fully
Oh, for
step
sure.
into yourself, why would you not want
Yeah.
to help somebody else? Why would you not want to give them what you have and say, hey, look, I made these mistakes. I don't want to see you make them. You know,
Yes.
as long as they're willing to hear them, you don't want to shove it down their throats. But
Right. You gotta only be teaching the people who are ready to be taught.
right, the people who
Yeah.
want to be taught, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh.
my daughters don't want to be taught,
Well,
not
probably
by
not by their
me,
mom, right?
not by me.
Oh, Lisa, I do. I truly hope that you lean into that so much because it is a piece of our industry and a piece of our world as women that needs to be bolstered more. There is there's just not enough. I guess the best way to say it is women over the age of 50. Like that's just honestly the best way to say it. Like women over the age of 50, there's not enough out there that's showing women this is what being authentic at 60 looks like. This is what being sexy at 80 looks like. This is what loving yourself at 67 looks like. There's not enough of that. And there should be more. And I feel like we're on our way to doing that. Like there's more now than there ever fucking has been, right? Like, which is so cool. But my goodness, Lisa, I hope you step into that. I just
We'll have
right
to
off
talk
the
about
top
that.
right off the top of my head, I already could list off like 6 women in my life who are in that age group who consistently are talking about, I don't have any female friends. I don't have women that I'm connecting with. I'm too old now and I don't know who or where or how or why. And it's no, like I know these women and they are literally they're wanting it. And if you
It's
can find
hard.
a way, yeah, if you can find a way, Lisa, to connect with these women, and even if it is in person, that would be even better because I feel like that in-person connection is so cool. And then taking it online as well. That is just beautiful. I am just sending you the biggest hug and high five for that because, like, please do that. That would be amazing.
We'll have to talk about that some more.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
definitely. Yeah. I would be honored to do something like that.
Yeah. And that is an area of life as well. That's something that I look at. Like I understand that as a woman, like we're going to have different seasons and different chapters, but I only know the ones I've been through. You know what I mean? Like I could never teach someone what it feels like to go through the certain mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, all of these things chapters as you get older in life. Like I can only teach what I know. And as I'm approaching 40, I know some, but I don't have a lot of knowledge. And there's coaches that and mentors and teachers that I look to, and this conversation has really gotten me thinking about this, girl. There's just not enough talk of sharing with women like, hey, this is what, like, come into our tribe, come into our circle, like you are welcome here. Let's be honest about what it's like to be a woman. We've really taken the stage in big ways, and we've all just made such big impacts in the world. Every single woman has. And I just feel like more coaches and mentors that are helping women in that age group as they move forward through life, that's absolutely what's needed. My heart is just exploding right now for that.
It's like a whole new world when you get to this point. It's like, it's not like it used to be. My grandma used to say, I remember my grandma always talking about how old she was. I'm not old. I don't feel old. I don't
Right.
feel old in the slightest. I don't think I look old. I certainly don't
Man.
feel old. I don't want to be old. You know, I'm ready to do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm ready to have fun. I got the kids out of the house. I'm ready. I don't want
Yeah.
anything to tie me down.
Oh my gosh. Yes, you need to start a revolution right now and just stand up with that light that's inside of you, Lisa, and just look behind you, be like, ladies, we're going. Let's go.
Let's
Like,
party. Let's go.
yes.
We're old enough to do whatever we want to,
Oh,
and we're young enough to still do it.
hell yes. That I love that. That's the thing, because age, you know, age is really truly just a number, like at the end of the day. And from my perspective, I see age a little bit differently because I'm really excited to age. Oh, I'm gonna cry even talking about this.
I was
Like
too. I was
I'm
excited to age.
excited. Like I know that the word might not be your favorite, and I'm sorry if it isn't, but I'm really excited to get old. Like I am. Like a little worried because I don't want my body to fail, but that's in my control as long as I'm staying
I
active
don't
and
like the
taking
body
care.
part, but
Yeah, right. And like, but that even that I'm excited about. Like I'm excited. I was talking to a friend recently. I'm like, I'm excited to like see my body as I'm aging, but specifically there's a few tattoos that we were talking about because I was like, this tattoo is gonna look so fucking fantastic when I'm older. Like this is great. Like everybody in the nursing home can be like, look at this. Like we were joking about it, but truly, like I am excited to age. Like the alternative ain't great.
yeah, no, that
And right, I am. I'm excited to see what type of old woman, old wise woman I am. Like I envision her often. You know, you and I have worked together. Like we do a lot of visual work when I work with women. And when I meditate and I bring that woman, that version of me into my life, like I'm excited to be her. Like I see her out in her garden. She has long gray hair. She's not wearing a bra, of course. Like she's out there. She's listening to her music. She's sweet and she's wise and like I love her. I'm excited to be her. And I think if more women were excited to be themselves now and excited for what future versions of them they're going to be, I think that would make a whole hell of a lot of difference because I know it changed my life. Like I went from being terrified of getting older at one point in my life, like of the age and the number and the body and the things to wow, that's going to be so fucking cool to be 40. Like I remember being barely 30 and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so close to 40." Like when I was like 29 and a half, I'm like, "No, you're not. You're not. We are now. We were not then." And then there were times where I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm so terrified to be 50. I'm so terrified to be 75. I'm so terrified to be 90." I just I'm really looking forward to the journey more than anything that I've ever like more than any time in my life, honestly. And this conversation has really lit that up in so many ways. I feel like a lot of women that are watching this, I hope that they can feel that within themselves when they watch and listen to this too.
I have never been afraid to age. I have always been blessed, I suppose, looking younger than I
Yeah.
am. And people, when I was in my 20s, thought I was in my teens. When I was in my 30s, they thought I was in my teens. I was getting carded at 40, 45.
That's because you
And
look damn good, Lisa.
thank you.
You're
And I
welcome.
always liked the credibility that came with aging because I
Mhm.
thought people took me more seriously.
Right.
So I was never afraid to age. I was like, no, I've got age on my side. People are going to take me more seriously. And just, it is just a number. The only, the only thing that bothered me is I lost my mother to breast cancer.
Mm.
She turned 56 on December 4th and died on December 7th of 2003. And my birthday is coming up on March 4th, and I will be turning 56. And so there's teeny tiny shadow over
Yeah.
that it's just weird
Well,
because
you're
that's
a
how,
human. Yeah.
but it's not that I'm afraid of aging. It's
Yeah.
just, wow, that's the
Yeah.
age my mom was. Um, so other than that, I'm not afraid to
Yeah.
age. It's just going to be weird to surpass her.
Yeah. I know you and I we've connected before, like on a more spiritual and energetic level when we worked together. Can I share with you what just came through when you were saying that?
Yes,
It may be time, and this doesn't feel like writing. At first, I thought it was writing, but this feels more like you need to see your own face, like you need to look in your own eyes when you do this. You may consider making like a video diary of like a letter to your mom celebrating what you've done since she passed and sharing it with her so you can celebrate with her.
that's a really nice idea because I know she would be incredibly proud that I've written this book and I have a couple more. Like I said, I have a couple more ready to go. I have one on finding meaning and purpose in your life. That's almost complete.
That's
And that one I'm really proud of. That one I really like. It's aesthetically not correct. The front chapters are heavier than the back chapters, so I have to figure out how to rebalance that one.
yeah,
Otherwise, it would be complete, but I just don't like the way
yeah,
it is, so I've got to tweak that one.
yeah,
Um, and then the workbook, and then I've written another one on affiliate marketing, but
yeah.
not exciting, but very informative, very informative.
Yeah. Well, yeah, consider that,
I
it's
will
that
definitely,
definitely came through. Like it's time that you celebrate with her.
I will definitely do that.
Good.
I
Well,
haven't done anything like direct to her. I don't think in a very long time.
yeah, it feels like she's alongside of you, but she's not in the room type of feeling. Like you've known she's like you've included her like she's in the house, but you've not been including her like she's in the room with you.
That would be fair to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I won't we can go into detail on a personal level outside of the podcast.
Yeah.
All right, my dear. Well, I just realized what time it is, and I do have to hop off here and jump on something else real quick and talk to a client. But I want to say thank you so much. I'm so excited that you came on here, and I am absolutely beyond grateful. Like, holy shit, so much appreciate that woman to woman that you stepped up and you're like, Heather, I want to do this. I want to come on and do this in the retreat. And yes, I want to do the podcast. Like, your initiative, your ambition, your desire is very inspiring. And I'm really grateful that you did that.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me, Heather. It has been a
Yes.
pleasure.
Yes, it
I
has.
enjoyed the conversation so much.
Good. Me too. Me too. Well, I hope that you are, actually, I'm not going to say you are. I hope you are, Lisa. I know you're going to join us in the 5-week retreat in March. And
Yes,
I'm going
definitely.
to, of course, I'm going to pop this in. I mean, I know this is going to be hitting after the retreat has already started, but just for anybody that's watching and listening, excuse me, let me clear my throat. Anybody that's watching and listening, the 5-week retreat, whether you are joining in the spring or in the fall, it is transformational. It is for the women who are ready to change their lives, who are already in that pivotal stage. They're already in the transformation. They're already in the transition. Like, you have been doing this work and you are ready to level up. You're ready to do it alongside of a coach, a mentor. You're ready to have fun. You're ready to not be alone because you want community now. There is so much that happens. And in these spring retreats, we really focus on the feminine energy. And so there's going to be even deeper healing with feminine energies. And there's a lot of female wounds that we heal in these, because a lot of the women that I work with are like, I've been kind of a lone wolf. I've been on my own, and doing this with other women is great, but also this is new. And so it really brings forward the opportunity and the invitation to heal female wounds that maybe we've been sitting on. And in order for us to feel comfortable in these spaces as a woman who's rising and is there to help others rise, it requires that we feel safe and understand and trust that the other women that are there are doing the same. And I think that in itself is such a huge healing. The women that are there are like, oh my gosh, there are other women in the world that just want to rise and help other women rise. And it feels so good to be in the presence of all these powerful, amazing women. So I really hope that whoever is out there, if you have not gotten the opportunity to sign up for the retreat, remember that you can purchase the Access Hub Forever Access of these 5-week retreats after they have gone live and after all of my students and my clients have gone through and taken a look at all their goodies. So do know that that will be available later. And in the fall of 2024, this is coming out, yeah, like towards the end of March. So when you guys are listening to this, it's probably already in the works. There is the first in-person retreat happening for Heather Paul Coaching, and I'm so excited. We are doing a smaller group. It's likely going to be just offered to the women that I've already worked with one-on-one, that are, especially that are in the Brazen Sisterhood with me now. Those women and I have been speaking for quite some time, some of us years, about meeting and having a retreat together. So I'm very excited to be able to host that, and be on the lookout if you would like to do an in-person retreat. Those are going to be available in 2025 for the public. And let's see, anything else? Oh, one last thing. And this is coming out in March. Women Rising, what you and I met with, Lisa, we're doing
Yes.
another one in May. So if anybody is like, hey, what's this Women Rising 4-day event that she was talking about? There's another one that is taking place in May. If you reach out to me, I can get you on the wait list. And by the time that you're listening to this, it may be time to purchase tickets. So do take a look at my Instagram. Find me at heatherpowell.coaching on Instagram, TikTok, everything else. You guys, thank you for being here. Lisa, thank you for being here. It's been such a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
And I want to remind y'all to make sure you reach out, give us reviews, make sure you're sharing this. Tag me when you share it, when you're sharing the podcast, when you're sharing my stuff. I want to tell you thank you. I want to see how you're doing. I want to meet you. So make sure you're tagging me in all the stuff that you're sharing. Make sure you're reviewing the podcast and giving us those 5 stars. We appreciate it so much. And lastly, as always, go out and do something nice for yourself today, and go out and do something nice for others. Go out and do something nice for a stranger. And we're going to take Lisa's advice. Go out and do something nice for someone who maybe wasn't as kind to you. When someone comes at you with some shit ass energy, just notice that you don't have to take it personally. And instead you can serve them up a big plate of love, and you can do something really, really nice from the genuine place in your heart. Don't do it to snicker. We've all been there. I've been there too. You can do a little snicker if you want, but please do it from a place that is genuine and authentic, and share that love, because it really does, like Lisa was talking about, it has that domino effect, that ripple effect. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Lisa, again, and we will all talk soon. Have a good day, guys.